At this moment, we're going to have Brent van der Westhuizen, who is the Director of Right to Freedom. He's going to come up front to make a declaration statement from a Right to Freedom. And then afterwards, I will not come up again. I will let him continue with doing the memorandum handover. Everybody give Brent a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm not one for speeches, and I'm not going to give you a big, long sing-song. We're here for one reason, and that's to stop this new amendment. It doesn't make sense. It's not logical. Obviously, we're being overridden by crime. The police are battling to control the criminals, and they think the government thinks the answer to that is to take away the legal firearms. Doesn't make sense. Isn't logical. We're not going to let it happen. It's that simple. We have a declaration here from Right to Freedom, which I'm going to read to you guys. First of all, we believe in freedom. We believe in values, especially those of choice and liberty to choose. We believe in promoting the best in humanity. We bikers, of course. We believe that evil exists and that evil things are done by evil people. And we all know there's plenty of them in this country. We believe that we as Right to Freedom oppose and fight against the evil acts committed in society. This is something we've always stood for, something we've always believed in. We believe in the right to self-defense. We believe in the right to self-defense. Yes. We believe in the right to own a firearm for the purpose of self-defense. Yes. We believe that anyone that wants to remove that right, wants to take away that right, freedom of self-defense as well as the freedom to choose. We believe we have the right to defend our right to own firearms for the purpose of self-defense. And we will use every patriotic avenue to maintain that right. We don't want to go against the law, guys. We want to go with the law. We want to have legal firearms. I don't carry a firearm, but I feel pretty good that I know there's some good citizens out there that do. We oppose this intention with the contempt it deserves. And here today, we show our contempt. We welcome for the encouragement from our Police Minister, Beke Sele, to give our public comment with regards to this bill and declare that we will expect him to take our concerns seriously and understand the following. That we will not stop taking action under our current constitution to stop this proposed change, which takes away our right to own a firearm for the purpose of self-defense. It doesn't stop here. Today is the beginning. It's the start of the fight. This is not going to change anything what we are doing here today. But hopefully this will be the spark that starts an inferno. That we will pursue any and every legal avenue, including the highest court in the country, to seek relief from the government's intentions in so required. That we petition the government to include our right to protect our lives in the current Bill of Rights. We have the right to protect ourselves. Unless the government can guarantee us that we are safe, 100% safe, in this town, in this country, in our homes and in our beds, they have no right to take away our firearms. All right, lastly, that we see the future approval of this bill in its current form as an act of war against the civilians, act of war against abiding citizens of South Africa. They do not have the manpower to disarm the criminals. They do not have the ability to disarm the criminals. So at the end of the day, only the criminals will have weapons. What do I do when the criminals walk into my house? What do I do when I've been unarmed? We declare that South Africa can only achieve its full future potential with a citizenry that are free to own firearms for the purpose of self-defense. Guys, we are not giving up our firearms. We are not giving up our firearms. We have Mr. J.P. Smith here, but to get this memorandum to where we want it, those other fools wouldn't come take it. So we're giving it to a man that's standing up for us and a man that will get it into Parliament.
Morning, everyone. Order. So I wear two hats here this morning. On the one hat, can I say that I've discussed this extensively with my colleagues. Andrew Whitfield has made the DA's position on this abundantly clear. As with many others in Parliament, we are opposing this. We think it's a fundamental problem. If the police are not in a position to protect its citizenry and you then deny or deprive the public of the position they have or the opportunity they have now to effect that self-defense. The police budget is being significantly decreased over the next 3 years. As difficult and challenging as our crime situation is now, it is unlikely to get better. It is likely to get worse. Regan Allen, who was meant to be here to receive this, he was under the impression that this is happening at 2 o'clock, so I was given about 15 minutes warning to be here, said to me that he has invited you to participate in the Gun Summit on Tuesday. We hope that that will be the largest virtual summit to discuss this matter, and we are trying to mobilize people around this issue as well. It cannot be that when the government completely fails to protect its citizens, when our crime and murder rate is as it is, that we then take further steps to deny people that little or limited opportunity to defend themselves. So that can't be. So the other hat I'm wearing here is from the city of Cape Town. And I want to tell you, I have the privilege of working with Metro Police often. I have the privilege of seeing the statistics that the Gang and Drug Task Team and others generate and the arrests they make. And I also have the opportunity to see how many of the firearms that we're confiscating are firearms that have been handed in to the police for destruction or have been confiscated. That is a serious crisis. And that's also a matter of public record now. And I am not suggesting that any of the officers here are part of that. But it only takes a few rotten apples in SAPS to make that possible, as we've seen with the sale of firearms and those that have already served but a sliver of their sentence and are back out on freedom now after selling guns to gangsters. So unfortunately, I do not believe that the surrendering of your firearms is a safe thing to do. I think that the surrendering of that firearms puts in the hands of gangsters a whole lot more firearms that will do a great deal more harm to people across parts of our city who are the most vulnerable. People I was walking with neighborhood watchers last night in Hanover Park with. So I want to say you cannot consider supporting this legislation. It's lunacy. And I want to say that if you are a member of Parliament and you are thinking of voting for this legislation, you must never again ask for the PPU to come and protect you. You must never again expect armed protection, as Minister Cele rides with, when you have 30 guards around you that are armed, when you expect the citizens to be without that protection. Then walk with people without firearms, and let's see how confident you then feel in the work you do. It cannot be that you increase the VIP budget, but you take away the general policing budget. And worse, that you make, as we discovered now, that you make TRT spend their time doing VIP protection when we've got crises everywhere and gang violence rolling across our suburbs. So that's just a disgrace. And I'm not attacking the police. They're trying, there are many, many good people in SAPS desperately trying to do the best they can. But they are being so badly served by those people in charge and those ones calling the political shots. So I will receive this. I will hand this to Andrew Whitfield. And you have my full support. I was with Gideon and others from Paratus and Gosa a couple of weeks ago at False Bay Shooting Club. And I think our position has been clearly stated, and we're trying to mobilize as many people as you can. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Smith. All right, guys, we've obviously come to the end of our speeches. We were expecting a bigger crowd, but obviously with COVID regulations, everybody's scared. We're at level 3, and obviously threats were made to arrest if the crowd was bigger than pretty much what we got. So it probably turned out for the best. We didn't want any violence. We didn't want to give the police a hard time. I think they've got enough on their hands. We're here for a reason, and we've stated our case. Right to Freedom has always been there to fight for the people. We are freedom fighters. That is the bottom line. On the 9th of August, Bikers United will do a national ride, and we will bring this up again. We will ride against this amendment. We will ride against corruption. Corruption is our mandate. Everything that happens goes straight back to corruption. If we get rid of corruption, we'll get rid of 90% of the problems we're having. We need to get rid of this corrupt government. That is the bottom line. Thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe, people.